everyone, welcome back to my channel, Faith, Family, and Food at the Parsonage. My name's Tananda, if you don't know me, and this is my husband, Darius. He's too busy getting into this, what is it that you're eating? Banana pudding brownie that we made. So I had a sister friend send me a recipe or tag me in a recipe on Facebook, and we decided to try it out. And as you can see, he's enjoying it. I haven't tried it yet. Watching what I eat, so maybe I'll take just a little pinch of it later on to see what it tastes like. But today we want to talk about this banana pudding, what we put into it, the changes that we made to the recipe to improve it, or just what I thought would improve it. I don't know since I didn't taste it yet. And also we wanted to talk about blasphemy, so banana pudding and blasphemy. And so the definition of blasphemy is the act or offense of speaking sacrilegiously about God or sacred things or profane talk. And when God gave me blasphemy, I just kind of thought about it. You know, I thought about it in a religious way, you know, talking about God or, you know, taking his name in vain, but I didn't really look into like the real definition of what it was. So when I did look it up, I was surprised to see some of the synonyms that came with it, talking about sacrilegious and profane talk, swearing, cursing, things like that. And I was like, wow, I didn't realize that that tied into what blasphemy was. So I had my husband look up a couple of scriptures on it to, you know, just kind of get his point of view. And what did you get out of it? Or where did you look? Okay. So he has to run and get his phone. So what scriptures did you want to share with the people today?
I have John 10, verse 36. This is from the New Living Translation. Why do you call it blasphemy when I say I am the Son of God? After all, the Father set me apart and sent me into this world. And I also have Matthew 12, verse 31. So I tell you, every sin and blasphemy can be forgiven, except blasphemy against the Holy Spirit, which will never be forgiven. You better not disrespect God. That's the main thing I took from it. Now, of course, we all sin, so some of that is going to come into the equation, but you got to repent and just keep your prayer life strong more so than anything.
So, just knowing.
Sorry. My bad.
So knowing the definition of what blasphemy is and what it says about it in the Bible, or, you know, some examples from the Bible, can you give any examples of any times where you found that you were experiencing blasphemy?
Maybe something simple as me out somewhere, like talking with your boys, just something so small, and you blow up, cussing everything you can think of, get into an argument, and you don't represent God at all. What God is about, like you're doing the complete opposite. Like you say some stuff, even the stuff you don't mean, some of the stuff you mean, just come out, and you don't think about it later. Until about maybe years down the road, y'all had this confrontation, and you see it wasn't for what Jesus was done for you. So the good thing is, it gives you a chance to make it right. So that's all we can shoot for. strive to be better than what we were back then.
And so is there any examples that you can give, like even in the past week or so, where you have been in a position where not even necessarily disrespecting God, well, I don't want to say disrespecting God, talking bad against God, but just being disrespectful in your manner, your talk, or just not being Christ-like?
Mostly like at work when they have little side conversations, and ain't got nothing to do with the job. Just be talking. Not gonna get into specifics what was said, but
so what was you talking about?
I can't. No, I'm not putting these people out there like that. It's confidentiality. It's the bro code. But it's just the fact that honestly, I caught myself. I would get into it and just say some stuff, and then I catch myself, and I have to remove myself from the conversation.
Okay. I like what you said there, that having to remove yourself from the conversation is like when you, like you said, when you're in the middle of, gossiping. Yeah, it's said, gossiping. And a lot of times we fall right into it. We don't even realize that we're gossiping or backbiting or talking about people. Or we do realize we're talking about people when we bring them up ourselves, but it is being disrespectful because we are coming against their character, and it's not Christ-like, because that's not something that God would do or Christ would do unless He was bringing it to your attention to either pray for that person or reach out to that person specifically. But another example that I found in the Bible was in Luke, the 5th chapter, where he's talking to the Pharisees. And this is from the Living Bible Translation. I'm just going to read a little bit of it. And it's Luke 5:21 through 23. And this is the Pharisees talking. It says, "Who does this fellow think he is?" The Pharisees and teachers of the law exclaimed among themselves, "This is blasphemy. Who but God can forgive sins?" Jesus knew what they were thinking, and He replied, "Why is it blasphemy? I, the Messiah, have the authority on earth to forgive sins. But talk is cheap. Anybody could say that. So I'll prove it to you by healing this man." Then, turning to the paralyzed man, He commanded, "Pick up your stretcher and go on home, for you are healed." And I like how Jesus kind of just put him on the spot, like, I can say that I am the Messiah, or I forgive sins, but you can say it too. However, you can't prove it, but I can. And He literally turned and did it right there in front of them, just shutting them up, shutting it down. And I love how, like you said, in the middle of your conversation, you caught yourself and then you had to remove yourself. And I think it's so important that we don't get caught up in, conversations that, that talks about God, disrespectful towards God's people, especially those in leadership, or even those that God has anointed that don't have a title. You never know who you are entertaining. So I would say just be careful about what comes out of your mouth that is considered blasphemy. It's not just against the things of God, it's the things that come against God's characters. So we are supposed to have the fruit of the Spirit living within us, and the things that we say should exude the fruit of the Spirit. So I would say that the people that you find yourself in conversation with and contact with on a daily basis, if they are not exuding the fruit of the Spirit as you ought to be, then I would say definitely remove yourself from them. And if it's a work situation where you have to work with that person, or you have to be, in their presence, I would say definitely show them the characters of Christ. That way it can rub off on them, and they're looking at you, wanting to know what is it so different that's in your life. What do you think, babe?
I just had to remove myself. Honestly, what I did at first.
Tell it on yourself.
Hey. Like when we was having our discussion, I removed myself and I just put the headset in. Like, all right, listen to some music, then come back. All I did, honestly, because I got to work with them, just change the subject. something more
That's
positive.
important.
And it might be something that all us relate to sports or just anything. Just try to remain positive instead of that negative, that negativity that we had going on. And so everything helps. And it can be something so small as that.
And another way that we can another way that we can relate it to, he's talking about the brownie. He even ate 4 pieces so far. But another way that we can kind of steer the character, displaying the characteristics of God is even in our marriage with each other and how we treat each other. We talked about this recently in one of my sister groups that I'm in. And the example that I provided was an aha moment for me just yesterday when God had showed me an intersection that we needed to go to, and I wasn't sure why, but when I tried to explain it to my husband,
she didn't know where she was going. I knew the area.
God showed me the intersection and like the buildings around it, but when I was trying to explain it to him, he was just looking at me like, why we got to go all the way out there? You know, like, well, who told you we need to go out there? And I was getting frustrated and he was getting frustrated, and it was like, it could have went a whole nother way.
It was early in the morning.
And it was early in the morning.
I'm not a morning person, people. So we just gonna put that out there right now. It was early in the morning, so I'm not the best person to talk to early in the morning. Plus, I had to get a child ready for school. So,
we had to get the kids ready for school.
You got one. You know, I had to get that one. I had to get the youngest one ready.
Anyway, so in my frustration, I was just like, you know what, forget it, and I walked away. However, God convicted me and was like, go back and explain it again, but go back. He basically said, go back and make it plain. And so what I had to go back and say was, I feel like God is showing me this intersection. This is where we need to go. So he understood where it was. And after that, we kind of just was like, okay, that's what we're going to do.
So she just did the first time.
See, but I thought that's what I was doing. But I think it was because I understood it the way that God showed it to me. But for me to try to explain it to him, I had to use different words. Just use different, what's the word I'm looking for?
My contact?
Put it in different context. There we go. And so... So yes, so that was an aha moment for me. I didn't want to come out of character and display something that was not loving towards him, especially when I felt like it was something that God was sharing for the both of us. And so after we got it together, we got in the car, the truck, and we went riding, and we got there, and it was like, hi, you know, this is exactly where God led us. So it was great. And then we ended up having a great afternoon after that. So things could have definitely went another way if we had been disrespectful to one another, did not display love, care, patience, definitely patience towards one another. So I would say definitely check into Blasphemy, look up the definition, look up some scriptures, and, you know, apply it to your life. I would say do a self-check, definitely. And this what we're talking about today is not to come against anyone, not to come for anyone, not to condemn anyone, but it's really for a self-check, a heart check. Are you displaying the characteristics of God? Are you displaying the fruit of the Spirit? Are you engaging in conversations and activity that is against the Word of God? So no, we're not perfect, and like you said, sin will come, but when it does, we quickly repent and turn away from it or remove ourselves from it and ask God to forgive us for that sin. So anything else you want to add before we talk about this brownie?
It's random, but
Uh-oh.
Hey, look here, since we talking, it's random, right? I've been living here for 35 3/4 years. And you know, you see houses that you see on TV, like the big mansions and stuff. I didn't know certain parts out here had them.
Oh, yeah. The houses we saw yesterday, so we went looking at houses around that intersection that God sent us to, and we saw some amazing houses on the water. Like you had to drive up like a mile long driveways to get there. They were beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, like they had some like big glass. I'm like, yeah, they don't. They probably have neighbors that just walk in each other's house. I'm like, the glass big, man, big as this walkway right here. Y'all can't see it, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, they were beautiful. Like, yeah, big glass window panes. It was beautiful. And that's something that I enjoy doing that we had gotten away from. We haven't done that like in a long time. So God knew what he was doing yesterday, and the enemy tried to block it with impatience, but we got it together. We got it all the way together.
So if y'all want to know where this place at, just put in the comments. What? No for sale signs? Nobody. You see the little small house like around the corner.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, it looked nice too. But these big luxurious houses, I never thought I would see that. Like you see it on TV, and you go about, you might travel like 2 hours or something. You see a whole neighborhood. This is a whole neighborhood within 10 minutes.
Yeah, and it definitely had us dreaming. So I would say even if you don't foresee yourself moving right now or being able to afford it, I would say get out and just go look. Allow God to just lead you to whatever neighborhood he leads you to, but allow yourself to dream again. You never know what God has in store for you. Never put limits on God. One of the young ladies in the group said last night that the sky is not the limit. You always hear people say, the sky's the limit, but with God, the sky's not the limit. God can go above and beyond that. So yeah, let's talk about this banana pudding brownie. So the recipe, okay, one moment please.
No, you keep talking.
So the recipe called for, so the name of it was banana pudding brownie, and typical banana pudding has bananas in it, and so I was like, this is blasphemy because this banana pudding brownie ain't got no bananas in it. So you'll see in the attached video where the first thing that I did was slice up really thin. Exhibit A. I sliced up really thin a banana to put in it because I can't see calling it banana pudding without bananas in it. But the texture of it is, the bottom is more like almost like a graham cracker crust. It has the smell of a blondie. And then the top is layered, so it's kind of layered. So the top layer has is a cream cheese layer, but that's where I added the.
I'm sorry.
That's where, let's see. So we can put it in there we go. Turn to the side. Turn to the other side.
Oh, y'all get the point.
Anyway, we'll attach the video. If you have any questions or comments for us, leave them in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you do not miss an upload Mondays and Fridays. Don't miss the kitchen conversations with me and him. And let's see, what else? Did we leave anything out? Nope. All right. Guys, we thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you supporting our channel. We ask that you share it with your friends and family. Invite them to the party. Send in any recipes, just like my sister friend did with this one. If you want me to record it and try them out, even if it's recipes that you've never tried, I have no problem with trying new things. I love trying new food.
You're going to have me trying it. We're not going to get y'all food.
We love trying new things. Because I am watching my weight right now, I will let him try the sugar stuff, but he just watching where he eat. But yeah,
I'm watching what I eat too.
Thank you guys. We love you all. Remember that faith will always see you through. If you have, again, any questions or comments for us, leave them in the comment section below. If you want any links or the recipes to any of the foods that we provide on Fridays, let us know. If you have any questions, we have no issues with answering them. If you want to know more about Christ, I left the link for our church in our previous video. But again, leave the questions and comments below. We love you guys, and we will see you in the next video. Stay tuned for the video for the banana pudding brownies with bananas in it.
I helped bake some of it so when it's good.
Bye, guys. Say bye. All right, let's jump right into this recipe. So in this bowl, I have thinly sliced one banana with a little bit of lemon juice so that it won't turn brown. I have a 1/3 cup of whole milk, 2 whole eggs, and then I have 1 package of the banana cream Jello, instant Jello, not the vanilla one that it asked for. And then I have here 8 ounces of Philadelphia cream cheese. Gotta have a Philadelphia because it's just so much creamier than the off-brand. And then 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract. For my brownie batter, I have a cup of melted butter here, nice and cool. A teaspoon of vanilla extract for that. And then I have 2½ cups of all-purpose flour with a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of baking powder, 1/3 cup of white sugar, 2 whole eggs, and then 1 egg yolk, and then 2 cups of brown sugar, and that's light brown sugar. And then I also decided to use the mini Nilla wafers because when I eat my banana pudding, I like to have cookies in every bite. So I chose to use the smaller one so that we can get more cookies on it. So let's jump right into getting this recipe mixed up. So what I put in the bowl was the 8 ounces of cream cheese with the bananas, and what I wanted to do was get that mixed up. That's why I sliced the bananas so thinly, because I kind of wanted them to I guess pulverize is the right word, into the cream cheese. I didn't necessarily want chunks of banana, but I did want banana in the recipe. So I did that because I'm not fond of actual bananas, so I do like the banana flavor though. So I got that mixed up in there, scraped the bowl down, and then I added the banana cream instant Jello. And then here, guys, the filling got extremely thick, so I quickly added in my milk and eggs to thin that out. I slowed the mixer down just so that it wouldn't splatter everywhere. And this recipe was extremely easy to make. It actually took me a lot longer to set out the ingredients than it did to actually mix it up. But yeah, see how nice and creamy that is and nice and fluffy? Yeah, I kind of wanted to lick the spatula, but I knew I still needed it, so I didn't. And there I am stirring in that vanilla extract. I didn't want to over mix the filling, put too much air in it, so I just used the spatula and stirred it by hand until it was evenly incorporated. So then husband came home, and right on time, I might add, to go ahead and mix up that brownie batter. Here he is putting both sugars in with that butter. Do not leave any butter behind. Definitely scrape that mixing cup, measuring cup, I mean. All right, and then he just mixed those together until that was nice and creamy. Added in his eggs, and then the vanilla extract. And as you can see, as he's adding each ingredient, it's getting creamier and creamier. So then he scraped down the bowl. And that's that, guys. It's time to get over to the pans. Oh, actually, I forgot the flour. Most important ingredient. So here we go. He just mixed that, whisked that flour together with the salt and baking powder. And here we just added the flour in 3 batches so that it wouldn't get overworked too much. And he did a fine job. He was nervous at first, but I walked him through it. Nothing like teamwork to get the job done. So here we go, mixing that up. Just until incorporated, just until the flour was incorporated, and off to the pan. So here I had 2 aluminum pans. The recipe called for a 9x13 pan, but I just decided to split it in half. I knew that we would cut into one and then probably share the other one. So here we are just spreading the brownie batter evenly into both pans. And then we're going to cover that with the filling. We spread it around. And then here comes the cream cheese filling. And it was so delicious with those bananas. You see how creamy it is? You can't even see that there's bananas in it, but you can see like the specks from the banana. So we spread that, and here we are just topping it with the Nilla wafers. And y'all, I promise we were not racing. It may have looked like it, but we weren't racing. I will say that he did a great job with even lining those up. I didn't even have to go back and move any of the cookies. So we set our oven to 350 degrees, put that those two pans on a baking sheet and stuck it in the oven. Cooked it for about 40 minutes and voila, this is what we have. Okay, so here we have the banana pudding brownie recipe that we completed. This is what it looks like. Has a little bit of the consistency of banana pudding in the middle, but we're going to taste it. Well, he's going to taste it and we're going to see how that goes.
Can I eat the wafers?
Eat it together.
Can I eat the wafers?
Go ahead.
Let me see, man.
And the verdict? So would you eat it again?
Yeah.
What's the texture like? How is it? Give us your expertise.
I have no expertise. No, the crust. I don't know if it has a graham cracker smell. I said smell. And it tastes like a banana pudding type. That's what it has, that banana pudding type feel, but it's in the brownie.
Okay. Well, there you have it. The banana pudding brownie with actual bananas was a success. You guys check out the recipe and try it out with your families and let me know what you think in the comments below. See you next time on Faith, Family, and Food.